Hi cuties, welcome to Bedtime Story. Today we are going to watch the story of the Daniel in the lion den. The king Darius of Jerusalem, who came to a stern decision and passed a law against praying towards the city. Although this new law was at play and under strict implementation, Daniel, our protagonist, continued to pray regularly 3 times each day. Very soon it was evident that Daniel was surrounded by men who were really jealous of him. Daniel was an honest and hard-working man. This made it difficult for the other ministers around him to oust him from the kingdom of Jerusalem. These men soon grew terribly angry with Daniel and would go to any extent to make sure he was completely out of the king's court and the vicinity. So they came up with an evil plot to get rid of him. These jealous ministers went to King Darius and put forth a formal complaint against Daniel for disobeying the law. When King Darius heard about this act, he was extremely upset. Daniel was one of the king's presidents, and the king had no intention of punishing him for his disobedience to the law. Darius tried his best to save him from the impending outcome, but the weak ministers in his court continued to insist on Daniel's punishment. It was true that Daniel had indeed failed to obey the law of the kingdom, and it was only customary to punish any civilian who committed treason. There remained no other option for the king but to punish his favorite Daniel. He was thrown into a den filled with hungry lions. The opening of the cave was sealed thereafter with a huge stone. However, King Darius was very worried about Daniel, so much so that he could not sleep that night. The king got up to the next morning and hurried to the den. As he called out for Daniel, to his utter amazement, he could hear Daniel's voice coming out of the cave instead of the roaring of lions. Daniel explained to the king that God had saved him by sending angels. He told Darius that the angel would shut over the lion's mouth and they were not able to hurt him at all. Finally, King Darius was very happy to bring Daniel out of the cave and decided to punish the wicked man who had conspired against Daniel. So cuties, from this story we can learn that the name Daniel means God as my judge in Hebrew. Interestingly, in the story, Daniel serves as God demands. He is guided and aided by the Almighty, and his life is preserved by God himself. When no man is able to deliver justice, the story serves to state that praying to God will not go futile if there is good intent and will full participation in it.